everywhere you go, we have preconceived notions unless you're conscious of your thoughts. Your thoughts carry energy. Your thoughts will make a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. If you expect no one to speak to you in a room of people, that you're going to go to this party at someone's house and you expect no one to speak to you, I guarantee you your body language is going to close you off. Your mindset, your energy is going to scare people away, rather than having no preconceived notions about what's this going to be like, and then you get the reality of the moment. If that even exists, because everything is perspective as it comes in. But let's getting a little esoteric. So.
Well, and also I want to say some people will have like this epiphany and they'll be like, oh, I see it all now. And even for me, I've had moments like that. And then you sort of fall back into your patterns. It's almost like my own little cycle of gaining knowledge and then losing it. And sort of each time you learn something and then you really grasp hold of one piece of it, but the rest falls away. And then the next time you have to relearn that freaking lesson again, you've got it a little more solidified, right? And for some people, it's a process. So what advice do you have for people who like are frustrated, like myself, who I still get caught up in these patterns of worry and blame and not remembering why we're all here? So what do you say to those people who are still on that learning path?
Well, really great question. I think you're going to help a lot of people if my answer has any kind of coherence. I know what works for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but what works for me is allowing myself to know that as I learn lessons, they take time to filter in. Okay, so the idea that you learn it in that moment and then you lose some of the stuff, what you lose might be what's not useful, what's not really important about it, or what you're not ready to learn yet. Okay, so it's kind of like when you are a little kid and you have that sand screen down at the beach and you put the sand screen in and you shake it out and all the little pieces of sand fall through, but you got the big nuggets. Okay, the big nuggets stay and you learn those. And then your next lesson comes in and they dump another big bucket of stuff on you. And you have this big epiphany and then all the little pieces of sand filter through and you're left with those nuggets. Okay, and then eventually you've got your little pile of brilliance. Your little pile of lessons that you've learned that are part of you and they're part of what you're going to take forward. But be patient with yourself. And the biggest thing that I have absolutely learned in the last 4 years that I did not know, epiphanies are not random. Epiphanies are work. If you are doing the work, if you are reading and not just tuning out with television and tuning out your whole life, if you are reading, if you're meditating, cannot say enough about the importance of just being quiet with yourself. That's all it is. That's all meditation is. You don't have to go all guru. You don't have to go all crazy. You don't have to go any further practice than that. But if you be quiet with yourself, which is really hard for me at times, and do the work, read, seek the knowledge, listen to podcasts, it'll come. The epiphanies can come rapid fire.
And do you find, Rene, travel brings huge lessons, don't you think?
Absolutely. I did a travel log show and we shot a couple of episodes in Egypt, and we did one in Seychelles and one in Kenya. And our tagline was that, and this is something all travelers say, it's the best school in the world. And I learned so much on my trips. Information that they don't teach in school that you have to go out to learn. It's the experience of it. And all of those culminated into our story. They all brought one great year alive. So I can't say enough about traveling. I think it's probably the single most important thing for people to do is get out there, break away from what you think you know, and be open to what's happening all around us.
Right. I have to say, Rene was, when I met him, travel was it. That was number one in how he had grown as a person and what had built him. But even you now talk about that desire, that's not where it changes. You know, what works for you for a few years, where your lessons come from, it changes in your lifetime as you go through the different parts of your lifetime. I had huge growth and epiphanies through having children. You know, I had a huge growth and epiphany through my divorce. And Rene through his breakup. So there's lots of times in your life, things that happen to you, choices that you make. They all matter. They all filter in. So look for learning in everything. You know, I've been accused of that. Not everything means something. And I totally disagree.